Hitman for Hire, Darkweb Edition, Part 1. I never believed the dark web stories. You know the ones. Hitmen for hire, red rooms, people paying Bitcoin to watch things no human should ever see. I always assumed it was exaggerated internet horror, creepypasta mixed with paranoia. Then my friend Tyler lost everything. It started in 2019. Tyler and I were both 23, working night shifts at a shipping warehouse outside Milwaukee. The job was mind-numbing, and most nights we killed time on our phones while pallets rolled by on conveyor belts. Tyler had a bad habit of gambling online. Crypto casinos, sports betting, sketchy offshore sites, you name it. One night around 3 a.m., he slammed his phone down on the table in the break room. "I'm ruined," he said. I laughed. "How much this time?" 10 grand. I stopped laughing. Tyler didn't have 10 grand. He ran his hands through his hair and stared at the floor. "It wasn't just a casino," he said quietly. "It was something else." That was the first time I heard about the site. He said he found it through a hidden forum. One of those invitation-only places where people talk about things they shouldn't even know exist. At first, it looked like a marketplace. Fake passports, drugs, credit cards. Then there was a section called Services. That's where he found the listing. Hitman for hire. Fast, discreet, guaranteed. Tyler laughed when he told me. "I thought it was a joke," he said, "like a scam page." Apparently the listing looked professional. A black page with a simple form. Name of target, location, preferred method, and a price, $50,000. But there was also a strange feature. Demo mode. You could simulate an order, just for fun. Tyler said he'd been drinking that night. Lost a bunch of money gambling, angry at the world. So he clicked it. The form popped up. He typed random things at first. Then he got an idea. He entered the name of a guy we both hated at work. Our supervisor, Mark. Mark was the kind of guy who wrote people up for being 30 seconds late and bragged about it. Tyler filled in the details. Name, Mark Jensen. City, Milwaukee. Method, surprise me. Then he hit submit. A loading screen appeared. 5 seconds later, the page refreshed. Order received, simulation active. Tyler laughed and closed the laptop. He forgot about it. Until 2 days later, Mark didn't show up for work. No one thought much of it at first. People call in sick all the time. But by the next day, the rumors started spreading across the warehouse floor. Mark had been found dead in his apartment. Police said it looked like a robbery gone wrong. I remember Tyler telling me this part. His face looked pale when he said it. "Dude, it gets worse." Apparently curiosity got the best of him. That night, Tyler went back to the site. The same listing was there, same Hitman service. But now there was something new on the page. A status bar, order number 4421. Completed. Below it was a blurry photograph. Mark's apartment building, taken from the street. Tyler stared at the image for a long time. Then he scrolled down. At the bottom of the page was a message box. One new notification. "Thank you for using our demonstration service. If you would like to place a real order, deposit is required." Tyler said his stomach dropped. "It had to be a coincidence," he told me. I agreed. It had to be. But Tyler wasn't convinced. Over the next few days, he kept checking the site. And that's when things started getting strange. The listing changed. The Hitman page now showed a leaderboard. Usernames, completed contracts, ratings. It looked almost like a gig app, but for murder. And one username kept appearing at the top. Blackline 37 completed contracts. 5-star rating. Tyler clicked the profile. There wasn't much information, just a short description. Professional solutions for permanent problems. Underneath it was a list of completed cities. Chicago, Detroit, Toronto, Minneapolis. Then Tyler noticed something that made his blood run cold. At the bottom of the list, Milwaukee. Completed 2 days ago. That's when he called me. "Bro," he said over the phone, his voice shaking. "I think I accidentally ordered a hit." I laughed. "Dude, you didn't. It's the same day Mark died. That doesn't mean anything." But Tyler wasn't laughing. "I didn't pay anything," he said. "It was demo mode. It literally said simulation. So it's fake." That's what I thought. There was a long pause on the phone. Then he said something I'll never forget. "Then why do they keep sending me updates?" I sat up. "What updates?" Tyler's voice dropped to a whisper. "They're messaging me." He sent me screenshots, private messages from the site. The sender was the same username, Blackline. The first message read, "Contract successful. Client satisfaction appreciated." The second message came a few hours later. "Demo account detected. No payment received." Then the third, the one that made my stomach twist. "Outstanding balance. $50,000, a payment expected within 7 days." I stared at my phone. "Dude," I said slowly, "that's a scam." "Yeah, that's what I thought. But they sent me a picture." He texted it to me. The photo made my chest tighten. It was Tyler's house, taken from across the street. Lights on inside, time stamped, 10 minutes earlier. Then another message arrived while we were on the phone. Tyler read it aloud, his voice shaking. "If client cannot pay for contract, client becomes contract." There was another photo attached. This one was closer, much closer. Someone standing at the edge of Tyler's driveway, watching the house. And in the bottom corner of the image, you could just barely see the reflection of the photographer. A tall man, wearing black, and staring directly at the camera. Tyler whispered into the phone, "Dude, someone's outside my house." The line went silent. Then I heard 3 slow knocks through the phone speaker. Knock, 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 and a voice, calm, low, patient. "Tyler." My heart nearly stopped. The voice continued, "You have 6 days left to pay." Then the phone line went dead. And that was the moment I realized something horrifying. Tyler hadn't accidentally hired a hitman. He had accidentally hired one for himself. Part 2. I didn't sleep that night. After Tyler's phone call cut out, I tried calling him back at least 20 times. Every call went straight to voicemail. At first I thought maybe he had just panicked and turned his phone off. But something about the knocks I heard through the speaker kept replaying in my head. 3 slow knocks. Like whoever was at the door knew they had all the time in the world. Around 4:30 a.m., I grabbed my keys and drove to Tyler's house. He lived about 15 minutes from my apartment in a quiet neighborhood of small 2-story homes and cracked sidewalks. The kind of place where nothing ever happens. When I pulled onto his street, the first thing I noticed was that his porch light was still on. His car was in the driveway. The front door was slightly open. My stomach dropped. I parked and walked up the driveway slowly, half expecting someone to jump out of the shadows. The whole neighborhood was dead quiet. No lights on, no cars moving, just the faint hum of a street lamp buzzing overhead. "Tyler?" I called. No answer. I pushed the door open. Inside, the house looked normal at first glance. The living room TV was still on, some late-night infomercial playing to an empty couch. But Tyler wasn't there. His phone sat on the kitchen table. Screen cracked. Still recording. I picked it up. The video file was 3 minutes long, and I wish I had never pressed play. The footage was shaky, like Tyler had been holding the phone while walking through the house. His breathing sounded fast and uneven. "You're not funny, man," he was saying. "Okay, I get it. Very funny. Come out." He walked toward the front door. You could hear the second set of knocks on the video. Knock, knock, knock. Tyler slowly opened the door. Standing on the porch was a man wearing a black hoodie and a plain surgical mask. He looked normal. Average height, average build. The kind of guy you wouldn't notice in a crowd. Tyler laughed nervously. "Okay, dude. Real funny. What is this?" The man didn't laugh. He tilted his head slightly. Then he spoke. His voice was the same one I heard through the phone. Calm, flat. "Hello, Tyler." Tyler's laughter faded. "Look, man," Tyler said. "I didn't actually order anything. It was a demo." The man nodded slowly. "Yes." Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out a phone. He held it up so Tyler could see the screen. Even through the shaky recording, I recognized the page immediately. The Darkweb site, the contract page, Tyler's name. The man tapped the screen. "Payment has not been received." Tyler shook his head. "Because I didn't actually hire you." The man stared at him for a long moment. Then he said something that made the back of my neck prickle even watching it on video. "That is incorrect." He turned the phone so Tyler could see the page clearly. "Your demonstration triggered a live contract." Tyler let out a shaky laugh. "That doesn't make any sense." The man shrugged. "Our system does not distinguish between curiosity and intent." Then he took a step forward. Tyler instinctively stepped back. "Look," Tyler said quickly, "I can pay something, okay? Just not 50,000. The man tilted his head again, almost like he was considering it. "Partial payment is not supported." "Then cancel it." "Cancellation is not supported." Tyler's breathing grew louder. "Then what the hell do you want from me?" The man spoke without emotion. "Fulfillment of the contract." Tyler's voice rose. "You're insane." Then the video shook violently as Tyler backed further into the house. The man followed, still calm, still patient. "You currently have 6 days remaining to provide payment." Tyler stopped. "What?" The man pointed toward the door behind him. I am simply verifying your location. Tyler stared at him. You're not here to kill me? The man's eyes narrowed slightly above the mask. Not today. He stepped back toward the porch. Your balance is outstanding. He paused in the doorway, then added one last sentence. If payment is not received, his eyes locked onto the camera, I will return. The video ended there. I stood in Tyler's kitchen holding the phone, my hands shaking. At first I thought maybe the guy had just been trying to scare him. But then I noticed something else. The timestamp on the video. 3:18 a.m. That meant Tyler had been alive when the recording ended. But now, it was almost 5 a.m. and he was gone. No car missing, no signs of a struggle. Just gone. I called the police. They showed up about 30 minutes later. 2 officers walked through the house, checked the backyard, asked a few questions. When I showed them the video, they exchanged a look. One of them sighed. Probably some internet scam, he said. But the guy came to his house, I said. Did he threaten him? Not exactly. The officer shrugged. Then there's not much we can do. They filed a missing person report, and that was it. By the afternoon, Tyler's family was calling me non-stop, asking if I'd heard from him. I kept thinking about that site, about the messages, about the contract. That night I did something incredibly stupid. I opened the dark web. It took me an hour to find the marketplace Tyler had shown me. But eventually, I found it. The same black page, the same listing. Hitman for hire, fast, discreet, guaranteed. My hands shook as I scrolled. Then I saw it. A new section on the site, live contracts. There were 3 active listings. The third one made my blood freeze. Contract number 4421. Target. Tyler Mason, status, active days, remaining 5. And underneath it, a new photo had been uploaded. It was Tyler, tied to a chair, in a dark room, a single light above his head, and standing behind him was the man in black, holding a knife. Below the photo was a timer. Payment required to cancel contract, $50,000. Then a chat window popped open on the screen. One new message from Blackline. It read, "You appear to be the target's closest friend." 3 dots appeared as the next message typed. Would you like to place a counteroffer? Part 3. For a long time, I just stared at the screen. My brain couldn't process what I was looking at. Tyler was alive, but he wasn't just kidnapped. He was part of some kind of system, a contract, like a transaction. The dark web page refreshed again. The chat window blinked. Blackline. Would you like to place a counteroffer? My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Every instinct told me to close the laptop and forget this existed. But Tyler was tied to a chair somewhere with a knife at his throat. If this was real, I might be the only person who could help him. I typed, "Me. What do you mean, counteroffer?" The response came instantly. Blackline. The contract can be transferred. I frowned. Me. Transferred to who? The typing indicator blinked again. Then the message appeared. Black line. A new target. My stomach twisted. Me. You're saying I can replace him? A few seconds passed. Then, black line. Correct. I leaned back in my chair, heart pounding. This wasn't just a hitman service. This was something worse. Something like gambling. Except the currency wasn't money. It was people. I typed again. Me. If I pay the $50,000, you let him go? The response took longer this time, almost like the person on the other side was thinking about it. Then the message came. Black line. Payment cancels the contract. I swallowed. There was one problem. I didn't have $50,000, not even close. The chat window blinked again. Black line, alternative option available. I waited. The next message appeared slowly. Black line, transfer the contract to another individual. Below the message, the site opened a new form. It was the exact same one Tyler had filled out. Name of target, city, method. My chest tightened. They were serious. This entire system ran on replacement. If someone couldn't pay, they passed the contract to someone else, like a chain letter from hell. I pushed the laptop away and stood up. This is insane, I muttered. But when I sat back down and looked at Tyler's picture again, tied to that chair under the light, the decision started to feel less impossible, because the timer had dropped again. 4 days, 22 hours. The site refreshed. A new image appeared under the contract page. Tyler, still tied to the chair. But now he was awake. His face was bruised. And taped to the wall behind him was a piece of cardboard with a handwritten message. Payment or transfer? My hand started shaking. The chat window blinked again. Black line. Time remaining decreases every hour. Then another message. Black line. After expiration, contract must be fulfilled. I stared at the keyboard. My brain was racing. Who could I put? Who deserved something like this? Then a horrible thought crept into my head. What if that's exactly how everyone else on this site justified it? Not strangers. People they hated. Bosses, enemies, exes, people who wronged them. I closed my eyes and rubbed my temples. No, I whispered. I wasn't doing that. There had to be another way. Then my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. It contained only one thing. A photo. I opened it. My heart stopped. It was me. Taken from outside my apartment building, standing in my kitchen, through the window. The message underneath read, "Client inactivity detected." Then another message followed. "New contract eligible if current contract expires." My blood ran cold. They weren't just threatening Tyler. They were watching me too. The chat window on the laptop blinked again. Black line. You have influence over the outcome. Then the next message appeared, and it made my stomach twist. Black line. Choose wisely. My eyes drifted back to the form on the screen. Name of target, city, method. I stared at the empty boxes for what felt like hours. Then my mind landed on someone. Someone who had ruined a lot of lives. someone dangerous, someone who probably deserved prison, but never got it. My former landlord, Victor Hale. The guy was a slumlord who evicted families illegally, threatened tenants, and once bragged about beating a lawsuit because witnesses mysteriously backed out. Everyone hated him, but no one could stop him. My hands hovered over the keyboard. I told myself this was different. I wasn't picking an innocent person. I was stopping a bad one. That's what I told myself. Slowly, I started typing. Name, Victor Hale City, Milwaukee. The final box blinked. Preferred method. My fingers froze. Did it matter? I typed the same thing Tyler had. Surprise me. For a long time, I just stared at the submit button. Then I whispered to myself, "I'm sorry," and clicked it. The screen went black for 5 seconds. Then the page refreshed. Contract transfer successful. Underneath it, Tyler's status changed. Contract number 4421. Canceled. My heart jumped. The site refreshed again. A new photo appeared. Tyler, untied, still sitting in the chair, but the ropes were gone, and the cardboard sign behind him now read, "Released." I felt a wave of relief wash over me. I had done it. Tyler was safe. But then the page updated one more time. A new contract appeared on the list. Contract number 4422. Target, Victor Hale. Status, active, and beneath it, a new username appeared as the assigned contractor. Not Blackline, a different name. Client Proxy. The chat window blinked. A new message appeared. Blackline, transfer complete. Then another. Blackline, you are now an active client. My stomach dropped. Me. What does that mean? The reply came immediately. Blackline. Clients must fulfill one contract every 12 months. My hands went numb. Another message appeared. Blackline. Failure to comply results in client becoming contract. Then the final message appeared. Blackline. Welcome to the network. At that exact moment, someone knocked on my apartment door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. And a calm voice from the hallway said, "Good evening." My blood froze when I recognized it. It was the same voice. The voice from Tyler's video. Blackline. And he said one more sentence. "You made an excellent first choice." Part 4. For a few seconds I couldn't move. My entire body locked up as the sound of those 3 knocks echoed through my apartment. Knock, knock, knock. The voice on the other side of the door spoke again. Calm, patient. "You made an excellent first choice." I slowly stood from the chair, my legs feeling like they didn't belong to me. My laptop screen still glowed behind me, showing the contract page. Victor Hale, active. Somewhere out there, another person was probably staring at the same kind of screen I had been staring at minutes earlier. And I had put Hale's name there. The man outside knocked once more. Just a single knock this time. Then he spoke again. "You should answer the door." My mouth was dry. Every instinct screamed not to open it. But another thought crept into my mind. If this guy had been able to find Tyler, and photographed me through my window. Then he already knew exactly where I was. Running wasn't an option. Slowly, I walked toward the door. Each step felt heavier than the last. When I reached the handle, I hesitated. Then I pulled it open. The man from the video stood in the hallway. Black hoodie, black gloves, surgical mask covering most of his face. But his eyes were sharp, focused. The kind of eyes that looked like they had seen too much and didn't care anymore. He gave a small nod. "Good evening." My voice barely worked. "Tyler, is he alive?" The man studied me for a moment. Then he said something that surprised me. "Yes." Relief washed over me so hard my knees almost buckled. "He will be released in approximately 2 hours." I leaned against the door frame. Oh my God. The man continued speaking. "You successfully transferred the contract." His tone sounded almost professional, like we were discussing paperwork. "You are now registered as a client." I swallowed. "I didn't agree to that." He tilted his head slightly. "You accepted the terms when you initiated the transfer." I was trying to save my friend. That is how most clients begin. That sentence hit me harder than anything else he had said. I looked down the hallway. "Who are you people?" He paused, then answered simply, "We provide solutions." "That's murder." "Legally speaking," he said calmly, "you initiated the contract." My stomach twisted. He wasn't wrong. The website, the form, the button. I had clicked submit. I forced myself to ask the question I was dreading. "What happens now?" The man reached into his hoodie pocket and pulled out a small black envelope. He handed it to me. Inside was a simple card. No logo, just a printed message. Client ID 4422. Below it was a web address, the same dark web marketplace. But there was something new printed underneath. Next contract window, 11 months, 29 days. I looked back up at him. "You expect me to kill someone every year? You are not required to perform the action yourself." "That's not what I meant." He didn't respond, because he didn't need to. The implication hung in the air. If I didn't, I would become the next contract. "Why me?" I asked quietly. The man gave a small shrug. "Because you were willing." That sentence hit like a punch to the gut. "I didn't want to." "You made a choice." He looked down the hallway toward the exit, then back at me. Most people believe they wouldn't. His eyes locked onto mine, until they are given a timer. The truth of that sat heavy in my chest, because he was right. I had done it. I had justified it. Victor Hale was still alive right now. But someone out there had just received his name, his address. His life had become a line of text on a screen. And it was my fault. The man stepped back toward the stairs. "Your friend will be returned shortly." Then he added, "You may want to prepare yourself." "For what?" He paused halfway down the hallway. "For the next time." And with that, he left. Just like that. No drama, no threats, just business. Tyler showed up at my apartment 2 hours later. He looked terrible, bruised, shaken, but alive. The moment he saw me, he grabbed me in a hug so tight I could barely breathe. "Dude," I thought I was dead. I didn't know what to say. He pulled back. "How did you stop it?" I hesitated. Then I lied. I paid. Tyler looked relieved. Oh man, I'll pay you back, I swear. I forced a smile. Don't worry about it. But later that night, after Tyler fell asleep on my couch, I opened the laptop again. The dark website loaded instantly. Now it had a new section on my dashboard. Client portal. One active contract listed below it. Victor Hale. Status, active. And underneath the contract was a message. Estimated completion, 36 hours. My chest tightened. I realized something awful in that moment. This system didn't just turn victims into clients. It turned clients into spectators. People watching the clock, waiting, knowing exactly what they had started. I closed the laptop and walked to the window. Outside, the street looked normal. Cars passing, people walking dogs. Life going on like it always had. But somewhere out there, a man named Victor Hale had less than 2 days left to live. And I had started the clock. I still have the card. Client ID 4422. The next contract window opens in 11 months. And every night I lie awake wondering the same thing. When that timer hits 0, who will I choose next? Because now I understand the real secret of that website. It's not a Hitman service, it's a machine that slowly turns ordinary people into monsters.